this is a fascinating and enormously important decision, and it all turned on the meaning of one word. One word in the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which is sex, because it was quite clear that the Civil Rights Act barred discrimination on the basis of gender. Like, you can't fire someone just because they're a woman. But does the word sex also mean sexual orientation and transgender status? And what the Supreme Court decided today by a vote of 6-3 is that it does. That means you can't fire someone simply because they are gay. That's a violation of federal law. It's an important point to realize is that most courts that had addressed this issue previously, not all of them, but most courts had gone the other way, had said that that the word sex did not include sexual orientation. But the Supreme Court has spoken very clearly in this decision, 6-3, that it is now unlawful under federal law to fire someone simply because they are LGBT or they're transgender, and it's a big difference from how the law was a half an hour ago, the way it is today.
American in prison in Moscow, Paul Whelan, has just been sentenced to 16 years in prison. Whelan has been detained since 2018 on espionage charges. He maintains he's innocent. The U.S. ambassador to Russia calls his trial a mockery of justice. CNN's Matthew Chance joins us now. Matthew, tell us what's behind this, and has the president attempted to intervene?
Well, as far as we know, Jim, he hasn't. Certainly at the sentence hearing today, Paul Whelan stood there inside that glass secure box that is such a feature of Russian courthouses, and sort of made a protest before the sentence was handed down to him. He said it was a sham trial. It's something he said before. He appealed to the President of the United States to intervene to secure his release, along with the leaders of other countries, Britain, Canada, Ireland. He also has passports from those countries as well, to try and intervene, to try and get some justice or some hearing for him, because this has been a controversial case from the outset. He was arrested in December 2018 in an upscale Moscow hotel. Details of it have always been very sketchy because there's a national security issue, the Russians say, at stake here. They haven't even allowed us to hear any witness statements. No evidence has been presented. But Paul Whelan, for his part, and his family and US officials have said from the outset this is absolutely fabricated. He has nothing to do with US intelligence, is what US officials say, and he was merely set up potentially as a bargaining chip. Now, the Russians obviously take a very different view. The prosecution asked for 18 years to be handed down to him for espionage. The Russian foreign minister in the past, Sergei Lavrov, has said that the question next is how long will Paul Whelan stay in Russian custody? He's been given this sentence of 16 years, but as I say, from the outset, there's always been this speculation that he's some kind of bargaining chip, or could become a bargaining chip, perhaps for the Russians to get the release of some Russian national, and there are several of them being held in US prisons, Jim.
Beyonce is calling for justice in the death of Breonna Taylor, an African-American woman who was killed by police after they wrong home. Melissa, good morning. So tell me a little bit about Beyonce and how she wrote a letter to the Kentucky Attorney General.
Good morning, Robin. That's right. Beyonce wrote an open letter and posted it on her website on Sunday, and it is an open letter addressed to the Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron. And in the letter, she goes into detail about Breonna Taylor's death. She points out it's been 3 months since Breonna Taylor's death and says that the officers involved should face prosecution. Beyonce also calls for an investigation into the police department's handling of the incident. Beyonce says that these actions would, quote, demonstrate the value of a black woman's life. Now, Louisville police fatally shot 26-year-old Taylor during a no-knock warrant raid on the wrong apartment. No drugs were found. The suspect had already been arrested. The Kentucky Attorney General's office told CNN they are aware of Beyonce's letter.
So this is what it looks like when you enter Chaz. You see some of this street graffiti behind me. There might be a security person here asking. A few questions, or just trying to make sure that you're not somebody who's going to stir up trouble.
We're just making sure that there's no violence or, anything against people of color. That's why we're here.
Then you walk 200 or 300 feet, and then you're in the heart of the zone. This is the main focal point of the occupation zone. The police precinct behind me. People have put up messages, they've made signs, and a lot of folks are just coming by and taking in the site. How would you describe Chaz in the occupation?
Oh, it's good. It's a lot of people out here, unity, trying to get this equality thing going, and it's very peaceful out here.
One of the more remarkable things about the occupation is the infrastructure. They are incredibly well stocked for the long haul.
See all those plastic bags with cards in it? Those are all individual donor cards. So most of this stuff just comes one bag of groceries at a time from folks in the community who want to help take care of each other. Yeah, we have so much stuff, we can't get enough people to take it right now.
A lot of people are on this field and might be relaxing or having a picnic. You can see this meditation society behind me. Doesn't really look like the picture of anarchy. What are your immediate impressions?
It seems like it's a great way to demonstrate what's happening, and this is a very revolutionary time in our history, and I think my kids need to see it, and it seems peaceful and under control.
It's a good vibe. It's a good vibe. I mean, we got a million people here that got different opinions. It's not a million, but everybody got a different opinion. So yeah, we're going to hear some screaming and yelling, but it's only their opinion.
We've seen a lot of different groups hold various events here. This is a group of Native Americans behind me doing a drum ceremony. Now, is everything Pollyannish here? Obviously not. We have seen some tempers flare, especially when somebody tries to interrupt a speaker. And some folks are openly carrying weapons. Remember, Washington is an open carry state.
There's only a couple little bullets in this guy right here. It's, this is not for the police. I'm an American citizen, and my war is not with the police. It's with the system and the accountability, the lack of accountability. But no, this is just for protection.
What do you think of Chaz?
This is the most beautiful thing. It's so hopeful. I've been a lot of festivals around the world, and what I see is just something very similar, like love and giving and self-organized policing and yeah, just a lot of good vibes, rainbows, and it's really hopeful for me.